Dusty roads stretched out before them as Pastor Obinna and his wife Adaeze approached the village of Umudi. The midday sun beat down on the earth, casting streaming waves of heat over the surrounding fields. Adaeze glanced nervously at Obinna, whose hands gripped the steering wheel with determination. "Are you nervous, Obinna?" Adaeze asked softly. Her voice tinkled with concern. Obinna glanced at her, a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "A little, Ada, but most excited. This is where God has called us." They drove past small huts made of mud and thatch. Villagers pausing in their daily tasks to watch the unfamiliar vehicle pass by. Children chased after each other. Their laughter mingled with the distant of sound of rooster crowing and women calling out to one another. As they approached the heart of the village, they spotted the church, a modest structure nestled among baobab trees. Its whitewashed wall gleamed in the sunlight, a stark contrast to the surrounding earth tones of the village. "We are here," Obinna said, his voice filled with quiet and warmth. They parked the car in front of the church, stepping out into the warmth of the afternoon. Villagers began to gather, their curiosity piqued by the arrival of strangers. Among them was Chief Okoro, a dignified elder with a weathered face and piercing eyes. "Welcome, Pastor Obinna, Adaeze." Chief Okoro greeted them warmly, extending a hand. "I am Chief Okoro, the head of this village. We are honored to have you here." Obinna shook his hand firmly. "Thank you, Chief Okoro. It is a privilege to be here." Adaeze smiled, bowed respectfully. "We look forward to getting to know everyone and serving this community." Chief Okoro nodded, his expression serious yet welcoming. "Our church upon the rock has seen better days. We hope your arrival will bring new life and strength to our congregation." Obinna glanced at Adaeze, a silent understanding passing through them. They had prayed and prepared for this moment, knowing that their journey to Umudi was part of God's plans. On Sunday, the church was buzzed with anticipation as villagers gathered for the first service, led by Pastor Obinna and Adaeze. Inside, the air was cool and quiet. The scent of incense mingled with the faint murmur of prayers. Obinna stood at the pulpit, his heart racing with a mixture of nerves and excitement. He had spent hours preparing his sermon, seeking God's guidance for the right word to inspire and uplift the congregation. "Brothers and sisters," Obinna began, his words steady and clear. "Thank you for welcoming us into your community. We are here to build a church upon the rock, rooted in faith and love." Congregation listened attentively, their eyes fixed on Obinna with a mixture of curiosity and hope. Among them was Chijoke, a stern-looking elder known for his devout faith and no-nonsense demeanor. As the service progressed, Obinna invited Adaeze to speak, her gentle voice resonating with warmth and compassion as she shared a passage from the Bible. Her presence added a sense of grace and humility to the service, drawing nods of approval from some and skeptical glance from others. After the service, villagers approached Obinna and Adaeze, offering words of welcome and encouragement. Some expressed their gratitude for the couple's willingness to serve, while others remained conscious, waiting to see if the newcomer could truly make a difference. In the days that follow, Obinna and Adaeze set about familiarizing themselves with the village and its people. They visited homes, listened to stories of joy and sorrow, and began to design the needs of the community. One afternoon, they gathered with a group of church members under the shade of a baobab tree. Women in colorful wrappers and men in worn-out agbadas sat on wooden benches, their faces reflecting a mixture of hope and skepticism. "We are here to listen to you," Obinna began, his voice gentle yet firm. "What are your hopes for our church upon the rock? How can we serve you better?" Silence fell over the group as villagers exchanged hesitant glance. Then an elderly woman named Kechi spoke up, her voice wavering with emotion. "Pastor Obinna, we have seen many pastors come and go," Mama Ikechi said, her eyes searching Obinna's face for sincerity. "We need someone who will stay and help us grow in faith. Our young people need guidance, and our elders need comfort in their twinkling years." Obinna nodded solemnly, his heart heavy with the weight of their expectation. "I hear you, Mama Ikechi. We are committed to building a church that honors God and serves his people. Together, we can make a difference." Adaeze reached out to comfort Mama Ikechi, her touch gentle and reassuring. "We are here to work alongside you, to pray with you and for you. Our church will be a place of hope and healing for everyone." Despite their initial optimism, Obinna and Adaeze soon encountered challenges that tested their faith and resolve. One of the biggest odds was the church financial situation, a precarious balance of donation and dwindling resources. Adaeze, tasked with managing the church finance, spent countless hours pouring out spreadsheets and budget reports. The numbers told a bleak story of expenses, outweighing income, of urgent repairs and unpaid bills. "Obi, we can't continue like this," Adaeze said one evening, her voice tingled with frustration. "The church needs funds to survive, let alone strive. How can we inspire generosity when we are struggling ourselves?" Obinna sighed, running a hand through his hair. "We will pray, Ada, and we will reach out to the community for support. God will provide." Next Sunday, Obinna addressed the congregation with a heartfelt plea for help. "Brothers and sisters, our church is facing financial difficulties. We need your support to continue God's work here in Umudi. Any contribution, no matter how small, will make a difference." Some villagers responded with nods of understanding, while others exchanged uneasy glances. Deacon Chijioke remained stuck, his thoughts unreadable, as he listened to Obinna's passionate plea. To relief, the village responded with unexpected generosities. Farmers donated crops from their harvest, craftsmen offered their skill for repairs, and families gave what little they could spare. Even Chief Okoro, the village head, made a substantial donation of yams and cassava. "Pastor Obinna, this is our way of supporting your mission," Chief Okoro said, his deep voice resonating with sincerity. "We believe in your vision for our church and our community." Obinna accepted the donation with gratitude, his hand warmed by the outpouring of support. "Thank you, Chief Okoro. Your generosity will help us continue God's work here." As we passed, the church financial situation gradually improved. With the support of the village, Obinna and Adaeze were able to focus on their ministry, reaching out to the community and building relationships based on faith and trust. Sunday morning dawned bright and clear over Umudi village. The church bell rang out a joyful invitation to worship. Inside upon the rock church, the congregation gathered eagerly, their faces a mix of anticipation and curiosity. Pastor Obinna and Adaeze stood at the front ready to lead the service. Obinna began with a prayer, his voice echoing through the humble sanctuary. "Lord, we come before you with hearts open and ready to receive your word. Bless this time of worship and fellowship, and may your presence fill this place." The congregation responded with heartfelt amens and songs of praises, their voice blending in harmonious worship. Adaeze led the choir in a sound-stirring hymn, her voice clear and resonant, filling the church with a sense of peace and reverence. As the service continued, Pastor Obinna invited members of the church to share their testimony one by one. Villagers stood up and spoke of God's faithfulness, of answered prayers and miracle witnessed. Their story ranged from healing and deliverance to restored relationship and newfound hope. Adaeze watched with unwhelmed as Mama Ikechi stepped forward, her face radiant with joy. "I want to thank God for healing my son," Mama Ikechi declared, her voice trembling with emotion. "He was sick for months, but through your prayers and God's grace, he is now healthy and strong." The congregation erupted in spontaneous applause and shouts of praise, their faith bolstered by Mama Ikechi's testimony. Obinna smiled warmly, his heart lifted by the spirit of unity and faith permeating the church. During the service, Pastor Obinna gathered the church leader and volunteers for a meeting under the shade of the baobab tree. Their hair was warm with the scent of blues, birds chirping in the nearby branches as they discussed their mission plan. "Brothers and sisters," Obinna began, his voice carrying a sense of purpose. "We have been called not only to worship together, but to serve our community. God has entrusted us with a mission to spread his love and truth to every corner of Umudi." King Chijioke, his expression serious yet contemplative, nodded in agreement. "Pastor Obinna, we must prioritize outreach to the youth. They are our future, and we must guide them in the ways of the Lord." Obinna nodded, his gaze sweeping over the group. "We will organize youth program, Bible studies and community outreach. Let us be a light in this village, shining God's love into every heart." The volunteers responded with enthusiasm, eager to make a difference in their community. Plans were made for a youth talent show, a health and hygiene workshop, and a community cleanup day. Each member pledged their support, determined to see God's work flourish in Umudi. As weeks turned into months, Pastor Obinna and Adaeze faced new challenges in their ministry. The rainy season brought flood that damaged the church roof, forcing them to hold service under makeshift shelters. Despite the hardship, the congregation remained steadfast in their faith and commitment. One evening, Obinna sat with Adaeze in their modest home, a single candle casting flickering shadow on the wall. Heavily, his shoulder weighed down by the burden of their responsibility. "Ada, I worry about the future of our church," Obinna admitted, his voice tinkled with concern. "The repairs will cost more than we have, and some members are losing hope." Adaeze reached out to touch his hand. Her touch comforting. "Obi, we have faced challenges before. God has always provided a way forward. We must trust him and lean on our community for support." Obinna nodded slowly, a flickering of hope stirring in his heart. "You are right, Ada. We must keep our faith strong and continue to lead by example. Our trials will only strengthen our testimony." The next day, Obinna addressed the congregation with transparency and hope, sharing their financial struggle and calling for unity in prayer. "Together we will overcome these challenges," he declared, his voice filled with determination. "God is with us and he will see us through." Despite the setbacks, Pastor Obinna and Adaeze witnessed God's faithfulness in unexpected ways. One Sunday morning, a group of visiting missionaries arrived in Umudi. Stunned by the stories of transformation and revival spreading throughout the village, led by Pastor Isaac, a risen missionary with a heart for Africa. The team brought with them supplies, medical aids, and a message of hope. They joined Pastor Obinna and Adaeze in leading a special service, their voices blending in harmonious worship with the villagers. "God's love knows no bound," Pastor Isaac proclaimed, his voice echoing through the church. "We are here to stand with you, to pray with you, and to celebrate the work of God in Umudi." The congregation responded with heartfelt amens and songs of praise, their spirit lifted by the prayers of the visiting missionaries. After the service, villagers gathered for a community feast, sharing stories and laughter as they celebrated their new-found unity. Adaeze smiled as she watched children play in the church courtyard. Their laughter a joyful chorus. She squeezed Obinna's hand, her heart overflowed with gratitude. "Obi, look how far we have come," Adaeze whispered, her eyes shining with tears of joy. "God has truly blessed us and this community." Obinna nodded, his heart full. "Yes, Ada, this is only the beginning. With God's guidance, we will continue to grow in faith and unity." War was setting over Umudi village as families gathered in the church courtyard for the eagerly anticipated youth talent show. Colorful lanterns hung from the trees, casting a warm glow over the excited crowd. Pastor Obinna and Adaeze stood at the front, their hearts swelling with pride as they watched the children and teenagers prepare to showcase their talent. A young boy named Chidi stepped onto the makeshift stage, his face beaming with nervous excitement. With a deep breath, he began to recite a traditional Igbo folk tale, his voice clear and expressive. The audience listened attentively, captivated by the story of bravery and cunning. Next, a group of girls performed a lively dance, their feet moving in a sync to the rhythms of traditional drums. Their colorful wrappers windowed around them as they twinkled and leaped, eliciting cheers and applause from the crowd. Obinna smiled as he watched the talent show unfold, his heart lifted by the enthusiasm and creativity of the youth. Tonight we celebrate the talent and gift that God has bestowed upon each of us, he announced, his voice carrying over the joyful chatter. May you continue to use your talent to glorify Him and bless others." Adaeze nodded in agreement, her eyes shining with pride. "You are all shining stars in God's eyes. We are so proud of each and every one of you." As the talent shows continued late into the night, villagers danced, laughed, and celebrated together, their spirit bowed by the sense of community and support. One afternoon, Obinna received a distressing visit from a young woman named Ugozi. Tears streamed down her face as she recounted the tragic loss of her mother to illness, her voice trembling with grief. "Pastor Obinna, I don't know where else to turn," Ugozi confessed, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. "My heart is broken, and I don't know how to go on." Obinna listened with compassion, his heart breaking for Ugozi's pain. He reached out to comfort her, offering prayers and words of encouragement. "Ugozi, you are not alone. God sees your tears and hears your prayers. Lean on Him for strength and comfort." Together they knelt in prayer, seeking God's healing, touch, and peace for Ugozi's grieving heart. The church rallied around her, offering support and love during this difficult time. In the weeks that followed, Ugozi found solace in the community of believers. She joined the church choir, her voice raising in songs of praise and thanksgiving. Journey from grief to healing became a testament to God's faithfulness and the power of community support. With each passing month, Pastor Obinna and Adaeze witnessed the church in Umudi grow not only in numbers but in faith and unity. The youth program flourished, drawing more children and teenagers eager to learn about God's love and truth. One Saturday morning, church volunteers gathered for a community clean-up day. Armed with brooms, rakes, and trash bags, they set out to beautify the village streets and church grounds. Despite the heat and humidity, their spirits were high as they worked together, laughing and sharing stories. "Pastor Obinna, this reminds me of when I was a boy," Deacon Chijioke remarked, his voice tinkled with nostalgia. "Our village used to come together like this, united in purpose and love for one another." Obinna nodded, wiping sweat from his brow. "Yes, Deacon Chijioke, it is through acts of service and love that we demonstrate God's presence in our life. Together, we can make a difference in Umudi." As they clean and beautify the village, villagers passing by stopped to offer thanks and encouragement. Children joined in, eager to help and learn from the example set by the church volunteers. Despite the successes and moments of joy, Pastor Obinna and Adaeze faced new challenges in their ministry. The church building, though strengthened by repairs, still needed ongoing maintenance. Financial constraints continue to strain their resources, requiring creative solutions and fervent prayer. One evening, Obinna gathered the church leaders for a meeting to discuss their concern and seek God's guidance. "Brothers and sisters, we must trust God to provide for our needs," he urged, his voice firm yet filled with faith. "Let us continue to pray and seek His wisdom in every decision." Deacon Chijioke nodded in agreement, his expression thoughtful. "Pastor Obinna, we must also address the spiritual need of our congregation. Some members are struggling with doubt and fear. We must shepherd them with care and compassion." Pastor Obinna listened intently to each leader's concern, taking notes and offering words of encouragement. Together they pray for wisdom and discernment, trusting that God will guide them through the challenges ahead. Despite the challenges, the church in Umudi continued to grow in faith and unity. One Sunday morning, villagers gathered for a special service of thanksgiving and celebration. They sang songs of praise, their voices lifted in gratitude for God's faithfulness and provision. Today, we celebrate God's goodness and grace. Pastor Obinna proclaimed, his voice filled with joy. He has brought us through trials and triumph, shaping us into a community of faith and love. Adaeze joined him at the front, her heart overflowing with gratitude. We are so thankful for each one of you, she said, her eyes shining with tears. Your support and prayers have sustained us and strengthened our church. Villagers nodded in agreement, their heart full of thanksgiving. They embraced one another, sharing hugs and words of encouragement. In that moment, Pastor Obinna and Adaeze knew that God's presence was palpable among them, binding their hearts together in love and unity. The year drew to a close. Umudi village buzzed with excitement and anticipation for the annual harvest festival. Colorful banners adorned the church courtyard, displaying scenes of abundance and gratitude. Villagers worked together to set up food stalls, dancing platforms, and a stage for the evening celebration. Pastor Obinna and Adaeze stood at the entrance, greeting villagers with warm smiles and heartfelt words. Children ran around with painted faces, their laughter echoing through the air. Family gathered, exchanging stories and sharing traditional dishes prepared with love and gratitude. This festival is not just about celebrating the harvest, Pastor Obinna announced to the crowd. His voice carried over the joyful chants. It's about celebrating God's faithfulness and provision in our life. Adaeze nodded in agreement, her eyes shining with pride as she watched the community come together in unity. Each dish, each dance, each smile is a statement to the blessing we have received this year. Later that evening, under the silent sky, villagers gathered for a special service of reflection and renewal. Pastor Obinna led them in prayers of thanksgiving, gratitude, and hope for the future. The church choir sang hymns of praise, their voices rising in harmony with the gentle night breeze. We have faced trials and triumph together, Obinna began, his voice filled with emotion. Through it all, God has been faithful. He has strengthened our faith, deepened our love for one another, and blessed us beyond measure. Adaeze stepped forward, holding a lit candle symbolizing hope and renewal. Let this light remind us of God's presence among us, she said, her voice steady and clear. May it guide us through the challenges ahead and illuminate our path with His grace. Villagers nodded in agreement, their hearts united in prayer and thanksgiving. They embraced one another, sharing hugs and words of encouragement, grateful for the bonds of friendship and faith that had grown stronger over the years. In the days that followed, Pastor Obinna and Adaeze continued to nurture and shepherd the church in Umudi with love and dedication. They organized community outreaches, programs, youth gatherings, and Bible study, fostering a culture of learning and spiritual growth. Deacon Chijoke, once reserved and skeptical, became a pillar of support and wisdom within the church. His steadfast faith and leadership inspired others to deepen their commitment to God and His work in Umudi. As the month turned into years, the church in Umudi flourished under pastors Obinna and Adaeze guidance. New family joined the congregation, drawn by the warmth of fellowship and the transformative power of God's love. On a sunny afternoon, years later, villagers gathered once again in the church courtyard to celebrate a milestone: Pastor Obinna's and Adaeze retirement. After decades of faithful service, the air was filled with laughter and tears of gratitude as they reflect on the impact of their ministry. "We are entirely grateful for your love and leadership," Chief Okoro declared, his voice resonating with respect and admiration. "You have shown us what it means to live with faith and unity, to serve with compassion and humility." Obinna and Adaeze stood side by side, their hearts overflowing with joy and humility. "It has been our privilege to serve God and this community," Obinna said, his voice trembling with emotion. "You have welcomed us into your lives and heart, and we are forever grateful." Adaeze nodded in agreement, her eyes shining with tears of happiness. "We leave Umudi with full hearts, knowing that God's work will continue through each one of you. Keep shining His light and spreading His love." As Pastor Obinna and Adaeze bid farewell to Umudi village, they left behind a legacy of faith, unity, and love that will endure for generations. The church continued to strive under new leadership, guided by the lesson learned and the spirit of community fostered by Pastor Obinna and Adaeze. Years later, visitors to Umudi will hear stories of the transformative revival that swept through the village, a story of faith that united hearts, healed wounds, and brought hope where there was once doubt. And so, the legacy of Pastor Obinna lives on, a testament to the power of God's love and the resilience of a community bound together in faith and unity. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. If this is your first time of seeing my channel, you are welcome to this channel. So stay tuned for more interesting story. So if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Bye. See you in my next video.